When we opened the company, in addition to branding ourselves, if you will, Carter Wallace, which gave us some instant name recognition because we were known within the community and involved and active, we also set ourselves up as someone who's more efficient than your bank, as someone who cares about your long term. Most people are only going to live in their house 5 to 7 years, so we're interested in that next transaction and the next transaction and your kid's next house as well. With a lack of local broadcast television, for instance, or a really good print medium to use in marketing efforts, that led us to focus in on radio so we could narrow in on our core consumer, which is that 25 to 45-year-old woman. Well, we've been on the radio for over 10 years, and we started out just with news sponsorships, even Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 3 days a week. As that increased our business, we moved to a place where we would sponsor special programming, sports events, local high school sports, those kind of things in the radio, and eventually moved to where radio was really its most effective, which is high frequency. We'd run 8 commercials 5 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. Over that 10-year period of working with our consultants in the radio station and making the most out of our dollars there, we also purchased a jingle, which I won't sing for you, but the slogan goes, Carter Wallace Mortgage, the key to your new home. Many people, when they start out a business, I'm going to open a new office, for instance, don't think about it. The first thing I did was call the phone company and say, do you have any extensions with LOAN available? It's 5626. And amazingly, there was. So, within our jingle is incorporated call 982-LOAN. And people today even will call my wife at work and start singing our jingle to her over the phone because it's catchy and it helps build recognition. We have 8 stations owned by one company. I have filled in for them in a variety of on-air capacities as a morning show host, from talk shows to country to adult contemporary. And we decided to take those skills with our ability to explain to people what's a good faith estimate. Why should you pay points or not pay points? Or how can we get somebody else to pay the points for you? What's a truth in lending statement? And create an hour-long talk show. Rather than buy that, say, 8 commercials a day, 7 days a week, we put a portion of that money into producing a 1-hour talk show that's called Real Talk about real estate. That gave us 2 added dimensions, really, to our marketing efforts and our branding within the community. One, it gave us instant on-air recognition as experts in the field, and as somebody who was more interested in keeping you from getting burned, in helping you get the best that you could get. We often, as much as they have time for, bring some of our key realtors into our offices to interview them for the show or into the studio live with us, and they'll talk about, hey, I got this great open house on Sunday, and here's the trends for real estate in our market, and one subdivision is generally growing faster than another, and which houses, which neighborhoods do you want to be in where you're going to gain value or instant equity by buying this property. The realtors just had no concept of what was possible in that way and had never been offered that opportunity. That created some loyalty among realtors with us. It also allowed us, because of the simple ease, you can't buy a computer these days without a CD burner in it, and label printers, you can pick up at Office Depot for next to nothing. So we take the show and we burn it to CD. Now there are CDs floating all over the community and the region that explain to people how to get a house, how to get a better interest rate, how to buy investment property, why they should have an inspection done if they should. All the aspects to our industry, and they're seeing my logo on the label, they're seeing our pictures, so there's some recognition of our faces if they see us at a soccer field or a softball game or something. That allowed us to not only, beyond the 3,000 to 5,000 people who are listening when the show runs on Thursday nights from 6 to 7 p.m., it gives us an aftermarket opportunity to say, oh, by the way, you're trying to buy your first home, you don't know anything about this. While you're looking for houses with your realtor, listen to this. And it'll explain the process to you. You'll be ready.